that people thirst no more. Those wells must have buckets to them there. It must mean that, I am sure. Shall we remember parching then? Those waters sound so grand. I think a little well like mine, dearer to understand. I was talking with my son about that poem this morning. See, the whole poem, it's Emily Dickinson. The whole poem is so pretentious until the very last two lines. It's like mega versus me. I think a little well like mine, dear, to understand. I'd like to read it again because I didn't want to give my interpretation before reading it. And it's short. I know where wells grow, draughtless wells, deep dug for summer days, where waters go no more away. It's made of fathoms and a belt of jagged stone, inlaid with emerald halfway down and diamond jumbled on. It has no bucket. Were I rich, a bucket I would buy. I'm often thirsty, but my lips are so high up, you see. Shall we remember parching then? Those waters sound so grand. I think a little well like mine, dearer to understand. Joy Tipinelli taught a course in NYU in '83, '84 on Emily Dickinson, and she got me into it, and I've memorized maybe 50 of her poems. And, so she was a wonderful storyteller. Thank you.
There is nobody like Emily Dickinson. Thank you, Daniel. Diane Bliss.
Well, this was a tough assignment. Just one. I have like 6 books in the bag. On the way here, I'm thinking, oh my gosh. But the first one I thought of is by Derek Walcott, who was poet laureate, or Nobel Prize-winning poet. And I met him at Hartwick College when I was a student there. And I don't know, he hated planes or something like that. Anyway, he was on a bus from New York City to Oneonta, and to actually do our class, and then came back, and he had written this poem called Upstate. So I thought maybe you'd appreciate this. Upstate. A knife blade of cold air keeps prying the bus window open. The spring country won't be shut out. The door to the John keeps banging. There's a few of us, a stale drunk or stoned woman in torn jeans, a Spanish-American salesman, and ahead a black woman folded in an overcoat. Emptiness makes a companionable aura, though the upstate villages, repetitive but crucial in their little differences of fields, wide yards with washing, old machinery, where people live with the highway's patience and flat certainty. Sometimes I feel, sometimes the muse is leaving America. Her tired face is tired of iron fields. Its hollows sing of the mines of Appalachia. She is a chalk-thin miner's wife with knobbled elbows, her neck tendons taut as banjo strings. She who was once a freckled palomino with a girl's mane, galloping blue pastures, plinkety-plunkety, staring down at a tree-stunned summer lake when all the corny calendars were true. The departure comes over me in smoke from far factories. But were the willows liars, the fanned-out pollard willows with clear translation of water into song? Were the starlings as heartbroken as nightingales, whose sorrow piles the looming thunderhead over the Catskills? What would be their theme? The spring hills are sun-freckled, the chaste white barns flash through screening trees the vigor of her dream, like a white plank bridge over a quarreling brook. Clear images, direct as your daughters on the way their clear look returns your stare, unarguable and fatal. No, it's more sensual. I am falling in love with America. I must put the cold, small pebbles from the spring upon my tongue to learn her language, to talk like birch or aspen confidently. I will knock at the windowed door of one of these villages where she will admit me like a broad meadow, like a blue space between mountains, and holding her arms at the broken elbows, brush the dank hair from a forehead as warm as bread or as a homecoming.
Margaret.
Okay. This wonderful little book is called Little Poems. They're all short. And they range chronologically from 700 BC, 7 BC, all the way to the 2000. The poem I chose is not my absolute favorite poem, but I chose it because it's fun and it's interactive. It's a poem by Lewis Carroll, who, as you know, wrote Alice in Wonderland. And it only has 8 lines, and the last line he did not finish. He leaves the last line for the reader, or in your case, the listener, to finish for him. So I'm going to read it, and hopefully you'll want to finish the last line with me. It's called The Owl and the Panther. I passed by his garden and marked with one eye how the owl and the panther were sharing a pie. The panther took pie crust and gravy and meat, while the owl had the dish as its share of the treat. When the pie was all finished, the owl, as a boon, was kindly permitted to pocket the spoon, while the panther received knife and fork with a growl, and concluded the banquet by
gratitude.
Eating the owl. That's it.
Okay. Well, I do have one. It's another Frost poem. I can find it now. Okay. The leaf treader, a leaf treader. I have been treading on leaves all day until I am autumn tired. God knows all the color and form of leaves I have trodden on and mired. Perhaps I have put forth too much strength and been too fierce from fear. I have safely trodden underfoot the leaves of another year.